right, let's get into the nuts and bolts of how to decorate your short-term rental for success. You're going to hear a million different ways to skin this cat, but let me tell you, after doing this the wrong way, plenty of times when I first got started, up until the point where everything is just designer and stays are bringing in $1,000, $2,000 a night. It all depends on your guest avatar, but let's go through how to get set up to make sure your short-term rental makes money and beats out the competition. So a good rule of thumb that I like to use is you're probably going to want to be between $20 a square foot to $30 a square foot to furnish and design your short-term rental. Now, depending on what market you're in and how your competition looks, depending on what kind of guests you're trying to bring in, not everything needs to look like the Ritz-Carlton. Not everything has to be at that $30 and sometimes even $40 a square foot mark. But you probably shouldn't go much below 20. This is like a key mistake that I see people make early on is they spend $500,000 on a house and then they try to furnish it for $10,000 or less. And they try to save as much money as possible. Now, I know it's tough when you're trying to get a cash on cash return. You get to leverage when you buy the house. Unfortunately, when you buy the furniture, it's not as easy to leverage. You can put on a credit card, that's leverage technically, and try to pay that thing off as quick as you can after you get started. I've been there, it's doable, but at the end of the day, whether you're gonna put it on a card or you're gonna pay for it cash, you cannot cheap out on your furniture. I see so many hosts go out there and they will buy the lowest end stuff on IKEA, the lowest end stuff on Amazon, and that's gonna bite you in multiple ways. One, if you look at enough short-term rentals, you see the same stuff everywhere. And the only consistent item that is going to work is going to be that picture of a yak that's hanging up. People love the yak. That one's cool. Anything else that you see everywhere is probably going to be a problem. People aren't going to think you're unique, original. And on top of all of the problems you're going to have with getting guests with boring furniture, you are going to have the worst time in the world or have to pay someone a lot to set up that super cheap furniture off of IKEA or Amazon or Wayfair because it comes in 250 pieces. It's going to take you 6 hours to do one piece of furniture. Or you can spend $100 on a nightstand instead of $50 and literally just have it ready to go, arrive ready, grab it from the store ready, put it right in your house and start renting. And another huge mistake with furnishing and design is the timeline. I see this over and over and over again, whether you're doing your own house or whatever it may be when you're trying to furnish design, you should always ask for help. I get it. You might think you're handy. You might think you want to spend some time in the house. Well, guess what? Spending time in the house is no fun if the whole time you're building furniture and you're getting frustrated and you're trying to get there by yourself. Call up your buddies, get a case of beer, bring a box of wine, whatever you need to do to convince them to come help you out for that weekend. But it's much easier to get a house done with 5, 6, 8 people in a day or two than it is for you to spend a month or two there to try to get it done. And I know you just spent a lot on the house, you just spent a lot on the furniture, you want to do it yourself to save some money. Well, guess what? Every day that you're not online, that's a day that you could be renting. And in my market, a lot of times we play with rentals that can go anywhere from $100 a night to $1,000 a night. The $100 night places could be done in a couple days. I would much rather get them done in a couple days than have it take a few weeks. The super big houses that we do that are 7 bedrooms, if one person tried to do that, that could be 3 months and $1,000 a night you're losing. Get your friends in there, get it done in a week. That extra 2 months you're online at $1,000 a night, I guarantee you that will, 1, cover all of your buddies to come help, but 2, the amount of headache you have if you're buying places that are expensive and you are furnishing places that are that expensive, you probably do some type of work that you make really good money. And I guarantee your time is not best used putting furniture together. So make sure to get help when you're setting up. When you're setting up your short-term rental, you want to target your guest avatar. When you bought the house, you probably had a vision of who's going to come stay in it and enjoy it. And it's very important to remember that you're not setting it up for you. It's not your home. It's not all about what you like personally. Sure, things that you like, other people will probably like, but you can always ask someone and run things by them before you go out and try to get too bold. Remember the market you're in. So for example, we're in the Pocono Mountains. We've got lakes, we've got mountains, we've got a lot of wildlife. So a lot of people will do bear themes. People will try to stay with some greens, or if they're a lake house, they'll do some more blues. You might not want to decorate your whole house royal purple here. Just keep in mind like who you're trying to attract and why. I don't care if purple is your favorite color. I like purple, but maybe it's not for your rental. So keep that guest avatar in mind when you're shopping for couches, dining tables. Like make sure everything's the right size for the group that you're trying to attract. And again, don't go cheap. You don't have to spend $5,000 on a couch, but you're definitely not going to get the $400 couch off of IKEA or from Costco. Couches can be in the range of like $800 to $2,000, and they can be super deep and comfy without going to West Elm and spending $5,000 to $7,000. And I know I just knocked West Elm and the high-end brands, but you have to remember who your guest avatar is. So if you're looking to be a very high-end rental, people are probably going to want to see designer furniture, or even better, stuff that looks like designer, feels like designer, but you didn't pay the price because you didn't go with the brand name. You got the version that you found online that's exactly the same thing without that brand's tag on it. So with that, there are a couple key places that you can skimp on furniture and a couple places that you absolutely should never ever consider going low end. And that's the couch. You want a nice couch, you want something comfortable, people will be using it pretty regularly. You definitely want to go pretty nice with the dining table, get something firm. Everything you want to make sure it's durable. If you're looking at things that have legs on them, make sure the legs are sturdy. You don't want to lose revenue because, okay, the dining table broke. I need a couple days to replace it. I'm not going to be able to get one before the next guest checks in. You have to cancel a reservation because you saved a couple $100s on a dining table. You've lost all that money again. And it really does impact the guest experience, especially bedding. You want to get a really high quality mattress. It's okay to spend up on the actual bedding. Sheets and mattress covers and that stuff, you can keep the bed good, but duvets you want nice. You want comfortable pillows. If you have a big house with like 10 beds in it, I'm sorry, your bedding bill is going to be crazy, but you definitely want to do it because when people sleep, that is enhancing the guest experience. When you have a very cheap mattress or very poor pillows or not enough pillows. My pet peeve is walking into a short-term rental and seeing like 1 or 2 pillows on the bed. Get 4 pillows. Don't cheap out at this point. You're that far. You're that close. You spent $500,000 in the house. You just furnished the rest of the house with $50,000 worth of stuff. Spend another couple $100s on the bedding in each bed. Other than that, it doesn't have to be crazy. I don't even care if your bed frames look awful, but make sure the couch is nice, the dining table is nice. Get the larger TV. TVs are cheap these days. Make sure the bedding's comfortable. Bedrooms, all the stuff in the bedrooms doesn't matter that much. Your main cover shot money photos are going to be of your hangout spaces for everyone. So your living rooms, you're going to get a good shot of the kitchen. You're going to get a good shot of the outside of the house. Make sure the outside of the house looks good. And that comes with like landscaping. It might not be furniture and design, but I'd call that design. Make sure everything is looking clean. Don't leave anything out there. You just set up a ton of furniture. Make sure all those boxes are out of the photos. And at this point, you've got a good short-term rental. You picked out the right places to put things. You spent the right amount of money. You just made a big investment. And now you're going to be able to see all of that money come back if you put the right effort into the furniture and design. That's the live free way.